دوباره دل هوای با تو بودن کرده نگویی دل دوری عشق تو باور کرده دل من خسته از این دست به دعا بردن همه آرزوها.
Hi. Hello, everyone. This is Lion and this is Boots. Look at the cats. These are our new additions. Oh my God, they look so good on the screen. Hello, boys. Aren't they? How nice are they? Look at the cats. Anyway, we got these very cute little cats who don't like being in my office. So, shall I give you one at a time? Do you want to take him in and then come back? Anyway, we got some cats. So we got 4 cats. Look at his face. Got 4 cats. This is my daughter's cat. I hope you can hear me. Got hair all over me now. Hello, little pussy cat. You're a bit worried, aren't you? Anyway, look at that. Look at that. What? You all right? Right, you can go back in now. Anyway, so this is Boots and the other one is Lion. The other one's mine. And there you go. They all right? Okay, good. Hi. They are cute, aren't they? They are really cute. The good thing was I didn't tell my husband. In fact, my daughter and I didn't tell anyone, and we just came and got the cats. These are our third and fourth cats. So we've got 2 other cats, but these are short-haired cats, and our other cats are not short-haired. They were supposed to be, but they're not. And we've got 2 dogs, and we've got a gecko. So yeah, I will bring the cats again. They didn't like it very much. I'll probably have to clean my office so it's not dangerous. But yes, we got. Oh my God, they're so cute. So I wanted to talk about this chap. Let's just find you a nice picture of him because I think we should all be a little bit afraid of this. To be honest, I think if we don't want this, we should be really worried that a deputy leader of a political party. I mean, look, this is. Come on. This is the deputy leader of the Greens. Now, you know, and I know that the Green Party seem to be heading towards something really terrifying. And I'm terrified that as a response to the Labour Party being terrible, and the Conservative Party at the moment being almost irrelevant. I think they'll come back, but we should be afraid of that. That the response to the Labour Party, cutting winter fuel allowance and doing all the things that they did right at the beginning, that the response has been for people to join the Greens, or so it would seem. But what's really, I think, happening is that the Green Party are being parasitically invaded by Islam. And I know it's not fashionable to talk about it. We shouldn't really say Islam, or we should say not all Muslims, or we could say blah, blah, blah. But I'm just going to say Islam and Muslims. And it would be this sort of man. This man that shouted Allah Akbar. Did he shout that? Pretty sure he did. Some of his number. Definitely saw that in the celebrations. But you might have to check out whether or not that's 100% true. I wouldn't like to say something that isn't true about this man. I can say that I think he's a raging misogynist, for example. I could say that. I quite safely say that a man married to a woman who is shrouded in fabric is likely to be a misogynist. I think we can say that. I think we can say that um, every good Muslim, every devout Muslim, every good Muslim, every Muslim that goes to the mosque that wants to be a devout follower of Islam wants a global caliphate. I think it's pretty decent, pretty ordinary kind of thoughts to say that. I think it's I think I read recently, I don't want to exaggerate. I think there's 5 or 7 different things that you can do in Islam to lie in order to further Islam. So you can protect terrorists, for example. That would be, you don't um, tell people outside of Islam about things about going on in Islam. And I think if we don't look to Iran to see the danger that we're in, we're all a bit stupid and we kind of almost deserve it. And that would be all right if that was our only issue. But as women, that is not our only issue. That is one side of the issue. And we saw it in Oxford. When we went to Oxford, we saw that the local imam started shouting on the side of the misogynists that were opposite us that don't think women have any rights. And he went and joined in with them. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? So he went and joined in with them. And then I challenged him a bit later. But, this alliance is what? This alliance is really meant to totally upend our society. And all of you people too frightened to speak about it, you're not helping. So again, let's just look at him again. He is the leader of the Green Party. You know, the Green Party on the left. This is, as far as I'm concerned, a far right religion. It is a religion that is authoritarian. It is a religion that would like to do away with democracy. It is a religion that totally suppresses women. It is a religion that doesn't particularly like outsiders. In fact, what they like to do outsiders is to convert them. It is a religion that is waging war all across Africa, Nigeria, and slaughtering Christians as they go, men, women, and children. It is a religion that is the belief system of about 95% of the world's terrorists. Seriously, if you're not frightened about Islam and what's going on in this country and how they're invading the Greens and how basically I would wager that a disproportionate number of the Green Party's new membership are Muslim. Thank you. It's a 7 levels of taqiyya. Thank you so much for that, Rob Roy 488. So I want to just briefly touch on. We're not going to talk about the 9,000 incidents of gang rape and grooming gang stuff in London and Sadiq Khan. I'm not going to put those two things together. I think they're going to be together for a really long time. I think they've been together for a very long time too, and I think it's all going to come out that sniveling little shitbag knew more than he ever said. So when it comes to grooming gangs, I would posture to all of you that nearly everyone in the community, in the Pakistani Muslim community, knew about the gang rapes of children. I just think it's very, very likely. Very, very likely. And I think those same men that everyone knew were raping girls were probably doing some pretty disgusting things in their own community also. So that's all I want to say. So anyway, we have an antidote to that because we have something called the Women Inequalities Committee that would, the throwing gays off buildings and the subjugation of women and women wearing a fabric prison. We've got something to balance that in the United Kingdom. It's amazing. It's amazing. And what we do is we have this wonderful, very strident committee, and we've got some new members. Should we find out who they are? Because I think you're going to be utterly ecstatic. So here they are. So this is the Women and Equalities. So we've got Kim Ledbetter or Leadbeater, but I'm assuming it's Ledbetter. She is the sister of Joe Cox, who was murdered. She is the ex or the sister-in-law to Brendan Cox, who wasn't murdered, but I think he was a little bit handsy at work. So there's Kim Ledbetter, Kevin McKenna, and Nadia Whittam. Should we remind ourselves exactly, women inequalities. So I don't know why any of you are a little bit worried about women inequalities because Nadia is amazing. You ready?
I could count them on one hand. That is the truth. You are. I could count them on one hand. You are. I could count them on
Okay.
You are. I could count them on one hand. That is the truth.
I can count them on one hand. That is the truth. She is standing in front of a sign that calls me a Nazi. That is the truth. That is the truth. I don't know what a woman is. That is the truth. Let's kill all the adolescents and people with autism. That is the truth. Nadia, isn't it? Yes, that is the truth. Where is it? There you go. Posie Parker, Nazi fucker. I don't know if it's like Nazi fucker or that they literally think I have sex with Nazis. I'm not sure. I mean, you tell me.
It's not fooled by the likes of Kellie-Jay Keen. We can see her and her hate mob for what they are. They are doing the bidding of multimillionaires and oligarchs who want to divide us, who need to divide us.
Better than the Caliphate, though, isn't it? I mean, even if I was doing the bidding of those people, there is what is not divisive about. So this is Nottingham, where she's an MP. And what happened is we had been kettled and surrounded by this mob of sinister twats. And we've been surrounded by them until it wasn't safe and we had to leave.
In order to hold on to power, that's what their power and their wealth depends on.
Yeah. She is a minister for Gaza or something. I don't know. So let's listen to her again. So a group of women went to meet in public in Nottingham, right? We went to meet there. And while we were there, a group of predominantly men surrounded us, screaming at us, in order to intimidate us so we could no longer speak in public. And actually, on this occasion, they did win. And we did what we wanted to do, which is a win for us. But they thought they won the getting that space in the middle of the high street. And we then went and did our thing outside of the police station. And then we returned and did it outside the police station again. But we left and went and stood outside the police station that day. And she is now on the Minister Women and Equalities Committee.
And her hate mob for what they are. They are doing the bidding of multimillionaires and oligarchs who want to divide us, who need to divide us in order to hold on to power. That's what their power and their wealth depends on. We are stronger than that. We can see that when any one of us in our community is under attack, whether it's trans people, the wider LGBT community, people of colour, Muslims, refugees,
migrants, refugees, Muslims, people who live in 3-bedroom houses, people who work in factories, people that sometimes do shopping on a Sunday, if it's single mums, not single mums, people without children, people with children, maybe if it's post people who don't post letters, people who sometimes post letters, sometimes if people read letters, those people as well in our community, then we stand with them, even though we don't really know what anyone is because definitions don't mean anything because that's racist.
Migrants, disabled people, that is an attack on every single one.
Muslims and gays, that goes really well together. Muslim and men that wear effeminate clothing. I mean, maybe if you're in Afghanistan and you're a 7-year-old boy in a dress, maybe that's a different story. But this idea This idea that this side of politics is not going to get used by Islam and then totally devoured. If honestly, if it wasn't so frightening, I think I would enjoy it.
None of us, and we will stand against it. I'm extremely concerned about the way that this anti-trans hatred is gaining traction across the world, from Trump to Putin to Kellie.
Putin? What, gaining traction with Putin? I reckon he was already there, love.
Badnock, they are all obsessed with trans people. And yes, I'm also extremely concerned about the way that it's influencing my party. And as I always have, I will continue to stand up to that. Yes.
So she's on the Women Inequalities Committee, but she doesn't know what a woman is.
The Labour Party is not banging of the culture war drum in the same way as the previous Conservative government was. But it is not doing anywhere near enough to protect trans people and advance their rights. And in some ways, it is making things worse.
That's all right, love, because now you're on the Women Inequalities Committee and you can screw everything up for women.
And I know that right now, and often it doesn't feel like we're going to win that fight, but I promise you, we will win that fight.
You won't. You're definitely not going to. It's not going to happen. But anyway, I think we should be fair warned. Look, I started a political party because I knew, and it happens all the time, that things that just affect women, and look, I think this affects all of us. I think this is a women's fight. I'd like to see more of you women actually supporting women in the fight. You know, I know that there are some things going on where women aren't first in this fight, and I'd like to see a return to that, because we've been doing this a really long time, and I don't think it's right that women pave the way and then reap very few of the rewards. So if you want the kittens to continue to be fed, you need to go and buy a hoodie. I don't want to say any more than that. But you know, there's only so long I can continue doing this if we don't, like, the only way I do this is merch. Unlike other people, like I was in I'm just gonna moan a minute, so just yeah, I'm gonna moan a little bit, so let me moan. Right, when I was in Newcastle, when I was in Newcastle, I filmed an exchange between myself and a wide-eyed nut job who was working at the NHS, and somebody else filmed it, and I've got 70,000 more subscribers than the other person who filmed it, and I've been doing this a long time, and I've probably got close to, I don't know, 100,000 more followers on Twitter, and yet on my YouTube channel I had fewer views for my own video than somebody filming me. Like, this is how totally crushed I am. So unlike that person as well, who earned money on their video, and look, I don't begrudge him earning money on his video. You know, he still gets, I think he can have super chats and he can do all those things that I can't do. I don't get any money on X because I got throttled when it was difficult to speak about these things, not now, when it's not so difficult. I'm not saying it's completely easy to speak about these things, but when I was talking about these things, it was really, really hard to say the things that I was saying, and yet I said them, and I got cancelled everywhere, and I couldn't have a platform. And I think I was just left to YouTube and demonetized on YouTube. So it was it was just really difficult. And now people have come on very late. So they might have only started talking up about it in the last couple of years, saying all the same things that I've been saying for the last 7 years, and yet they can make money from it. Now, if I don't if I can't, if Let Women Speak can't generate the sort of money required to keep it running, I won't be able to do it. And I don't know how to fix it. I am going to launch another channel, a Posie Parker channel, and try and build that, because I think that is one avenue I need to do. I need to explore. So it's. I mean, I'll just have to go and get a normal job, because this is quite difficult. It's quite difficult to go out. I can't afford security at the moment, so I don't have security, which it doesn't make me feel the safest in the world. But I guess until I get attacked, I guess it'll be fine. But it is a little bit galling that people who came along much later, like on Twitter, for example, they get revenue share, and because I said the things that need to be said a long time ago, I don't. So that reminds me just to tell you again that merchandise is the way that I make enough money to continue, because all different rents, all different, I have to get a lease line so I can do get a semi decent internet. Otherwise, we don't really have internet here. Um, it gets a little bit scary when you're sort of thinking, and this weekend, for example, although this is, I'm not paying for my travel, I'm going to Germany, where I will be selling Frau t-shirts. So if you're coming to that event in Germany, women, bring your cash, because we are going to, we've got Frau pins, Frau definition, and Frau sparkly t-shirts. And then the other thing I've done to make it easy for you is this. Can you see these? Hang on. So you have to go to my website. So these two are bigot bracelets. How nice are they? And then I have a mother bracelet, which is a grey strap with a gold disc. A wife bracelet, which is a grey strap with a silver disc. And then I have a sister bracelet, which is black with silver. We also have a rose gold pink, and I have a couple of other wife ones. But I'm very pleased with these. These are amazing. The bigot one especially. Can you see? There, you might be able to see it better there. How good are they? Anyway, get yourself a little something nice. Or wait till Christmas. I don't mind. But the bigot bracelet, there's a lovely woman that comes to Reformer's Tree. I haven't asked her if she wants to be named, so I won't name her today, but I might next time. And we're in the pub, and she said, I said, oh, I'm doing these bracelets. And she said, oh, I'd wear a bigot one. And so I thought, well, let me steal that idea. So I did ask her permission, and now they're in. So I'm very, very pleased with myself. So anyway, look, I know, again, I'm going to be saying the things that people want to say that don't say, particularly women. And often people don't want to talk about Islam because they think it makes them Islamophobic. But I actually think if you care about people at all, especially if you care about women, you can't not talk about Islam. You just can't. You can't stay silent until our daughters are having to wear fucking hijabs. And there is a caliphate, and they occupy many positions in political life. You just can't. It's a really, really dangerous ideology that requires the believer to want to take over the country in which they live, because they have been brainwashed, probably many of them since birth, where they're praying and reciting 5 times a day. And according to them, the one thing they have to do is convert people. Now, I know there's some other language they use, but I'm not going to. it's um it's convert. It's convert or die in many countries, which is why people are being wiped out in Nigeria. Nigerian Christians are being wiped out. So, um, Nick Hanna says, trouble is with merch, it's a one-off hoodie or whatever. We do have, I do have Substack that you can subscribe to, and you can subscribe to Let Women Speak. You can do a monthly donation to Let Women Speak, and I would ask you to do that also. We had monthly donations when we were standing for women, and then that got debanked. And so there was kind of money being generated that would cover the sort of website costs and so on. But then we got debanked, and then people can't do it anymore. And the same as in the US. We had like a nice little store running in the United States, but that also got debanked. So it is really, really difficult. I think at this stage of the game, you need to be making a fuss about halal meat. And I think we need to start saying, rather than, oh, that's okay, oh, that's all right. I think we really have to start objecting to things. It's not okay. You have to be very clear that you cannot be tolerant of those that are not tolerant. Like it won't work. Not everything is equal. Not every culture is equal. Not every follower is equal. Not every believer is equal. Not every religion is equal. There are some really, really bad cultures in this world. Afghanistan being one of them. It's just high time that we started talking about it, and I hope you're here for this particularly bumpy ride. Raymond, so Infinity says Raymond Ibrahim and David Wood and Apostate Prophet will educate you on Islam. Go over to their channels. Not hate there, just facts if you want facts. Okay, so anyway, nice to see you all. I'm going to go and find those cats and enjoy the rest of my evening. If you can keep speaking the truth, if you can fund this particular David against Goliath, then I promise we will win. If you want the cats to survive, and you go over and you get yourself a little bracelet, they come in a really nice box. The boxes are on their way in, by the way. If you want it without a box, you can have it without a box, and you can have that sooner. But yeah, come on, where can you get stuff like this? Nowhere. Yeah, if you get yourself some jewelry, and maybe a hoodie or two, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're gonna win? Well, because I never lose.